That's the job. Oh, that's me.
Welcome to this video, where we talk about the movie The Fall Guy. We will begin by exploring the movie storyline, summarizing its plot, and discuss the cast and characters. Then we will take a closer look at the film production details and box office performance. Finally, we will share review and audience reaction to give you a well-rounded perspective. Let's get started. The Fall Guy. Note this spoiler was submitted by Jamie. The film opened with stuntman Colt Seavers talking about how important the people in his line of business have been in the history of film and television. Colt take a lot of hits as stuntman, but he finds its truth it because he is in love with camera operator Jody Mano, who aspired to become a director in his last project. Colt is doing stunt for major Hollywood actor Tom Ryder and Ron Taylor Johnson. Colt gears himself up to a harness to film a scene where we take a big fall, but something goes wrong and Colt hits the ground and severely injures his back. He walks away from the business and from Jody. 10 months later, Colt works as a valet driver and has not spoken to Jody since the incident. He is spotted by former Crawford, who referred to him as the fall guy after what happened, so Colt brings his car back aggressively and by doing don'ts in front of him. Later, Colt is connected by Gally Meyer, a product that frequently works with the writer. She offered Colt a chance to be writer's stunt double on a new sci-fi epic, Storm, but Colt refused until Gally informs him that Jody is directing the film. Colt arrives on set and reunites with his friend, stunt coordinator Dan Tracker, who informed Colt that his first major stunt back is a common role, with domestically Colt because he fears he will screw that up in front of Jody. The crew goes ahead with the cannonball stunt, with Colt tumbling across a beach before he sticks his thumb out to let the crew know he's fine, a stuntman habit as he climbs. When Jody sees Cloud is the stuntman, she is none too pleased to see him after such a long time away, which contracts Kelly's previous claim to Colt that Jody specially asked for him for his next stunt. He is set on fire and blow against a wall. Colt and Jody then try to discuss the scene while unstably discuss the relationship in front of the crew, with most people appearing to be on Jody's side. Gally visits Colt in his trailer to let him know the rider has gone missing after he has gotten into bed with some shady people and she is taking Colt with finding him to save Jody Film Production. Within the next 48 hours, Colt has questioned to his car and Gally visits Colt in his trailer to let him know that the rider has gone missing after he has gotten into the bed with some shady people and she is taking Colt with the finding him to save Jody Film Production. Within the next 48 hours, Colt then goes to his car and reminisces about his time with the Jody while listening to Taylor Swift and crying before Jody shows up and he has to play it cool. She gets in the car with him and talks about how important the film is for her, and he promised not to derail the production for her. Colt goes to Ryder's apartment to try and film find him but gets attacked by the leggy star, Ryder's girlfriend and the main actress of Maelstrom after a bite of cashing around the piece. Colt finds that Leggy is using a pop sword and he then tries to explain that he is looking for Ryder for the film's sake. Leggy tells him to go to a nightclub that Ryder go to and to look his drug dealer. Colt gets into the club by dressing flashy and meets the drug dealer Donna. When Colt asks for Ryder, Donna instead gives Colt a drug drink and tries to have his guys daily with him. Colt starts tripping but manages to beat the three goons before chasing Don outside as he tries to catch a cab. Colt jumps in front of the cab and stops Donna from getting away. He tells Colt that he was paid to drag him and direct him to a hotel to find someone named Kevin and asks for a fruit platter. Colt also hallucinations seen a unicorn. At the hotel, Colt runs into Jody, who vents to himself that studio is meddling with her film love story. Colt then meets the snooker's Kevin, who gives him a fruit platter, which is just the key to Ryder's hotel room after a few unsuccessful tries with the door key. Colt breaks into the room by knocking the door down. Jody calls him and takes to him about some idea for the film while playfully bantering. Afterwards, Claude finds the crops and other stuntman Henry Hera. Claude calls Kelly and advises to him to not talk to the police, but he does so anyway because one officer approached him because he is illegal park When Colt pensioned the body in the tube of ice, they return to Ryder's room to find the club completely empty and Claude still gets a stick. On the next day of shooting, Dan complains that Jodie was inspired by whatever she discussed with Colt since she has bigger and more complicated ideas for the shoot. Colt stunt in for Ryder so that they can use. On the next day of shooting, Dan complains that Jodie was inspired by whatever she discussed with the Claude since she has bigger and more complicated ideas for the shoot. Cold stunt in for Ryder so that they can use deepfake technology and add Ryder face to the final product. Jodie later invites Colt for Carabal, which he accepts. On his way to Caroca, Colt runs into a Alma Martin's Tom assistant along with a trying dog named Jean Colada, then that he's worked with him. When he asks Alma about Ryder, she says that she last saw him and Henry at a crazy part before Gally called her away from it. Alma got her hands on Ryder's phone since his head of security. Dressler was holding her over it. She knows there is something criminal on the other is willing to turn it. But she tells Cole she wants producer credit on Milestone. He says he will see what he can do right before they both get tested by Dressler, and he abdicated Alma is in his truck. Cole scared Jean Cloud and still a truck to chase after them, all while Jody is at the Croco bar waiting for him. And on his way to Croco, Cole turns into Alma Martin, Tom assistant along with a trained dog named Jan Colody than he was worked with. When he asks Alma about Ryder, she says that she the last saw him and Henry at a crazy party before Gally called her away from it. Alma got her hands on the Ryder phone since his head of security. Dressler was holding her over it. She knows that is something criminal on there and is willing to run it in. But she tells Colt she wants producer credit on Milestone. He says he will see what he can do right before they both get tested by Dressler, and he abuses Alma is in his truck. Cole gets Jean, Claudia and Cecile a truck to pleasure after them, all while Jody is at the Krakow bar waiting for him and disappointed that he is not there. Jody goes on to perform Against All Odds, Take a Look at Me Now, while Cole fires the gun after he and the dog make it onto their van. Jean Claudia bites the gun in the balls before going up front to help Alma get rid of the driver gun. They manage to stop her car and Cole crashes through the finish, but he is okay. He then runs with the dog to the Krakow bar only to find Dan Tree. On his way to Krakow, Cole turns into Alma Martin, Tom assistant along with a trained dog named Jane Claudia that he has worked with. When he asks Alma about Ryder, she says that she last saw him and Henry at a crazy party before Gally called her away from it. Alma got her hands on Ryder's phone since his head of security. Dressler was holding her over it. She knows there is something criminal on there and is willing to run it in. But she tells Claude she wants producer credit on Milestone. She says he will see what he can do right before they both get tested by Dressler, and he abdicates Alma in his truck. Colt gets Jean, Claudia and steal a truck to chase after them, all while Jody is at the Krakow bar waiting for him and disappointed that he is not there. Jody goes on to perform Against All Odds, Take a Look at Me Now, while Cole fires the gun after he and the dog made it onto their van. Jean Cloud bites the gun in the balls before. All while Jody is at the Krakow bar waiting for him and disappointed that he is not there. Jody goes on to perform Against All Odds, Take a Look at Me Now, while Cole fires the gun after he and the dog make it onto their van. Jean Claudia bites the gun in the balls before going up front to help Alma get rid of the driver gun. They manage to stop the car and Colt crashes through the windshield, but he is okay. He then runs with the dog to the Krakow bar only to find Dan there, and he says that Jody is alone gone. Colt and Dan give Ryder phone to fellow crew member Venti to hack into, but she needs his password. The guys go to Ryder's apartment and go through his wide array of posts it on to reminder until they manage to find the password Ryder in the plain sight. After Venti unlocked the phone, called and then find a video of Ryder, Lucky and someone of his buddies with Henry who makes a crack about Ryder not doing his own stunt. Ryder is seen trying to do a stunt only to association knock Henry over and kill him. Ryder is seen trying to do a stunt only to accidentally knock Henry over and kill him. Moments later, Venti calls Dan to inform. Colt and Dan give Ryder phone to fellow crew member Venti to hack into, but she needs his password. They guys to Ryder's apartment and go through his wide array of post-it note reminder until they manage to find the password written in the plain sight. After Venti unlock the phone, Colt and Dan find a video of Ryder, Lucky and someone of his buddies with Henry, who make a crack about Ryder not doing on his stunt. Ryder is seen trying to do a stunt only to accidentally knock Henry over and kill him. Moment later, Venti calls Dan to inform the guys that news is reporting on Henry's death and naming Colt as the prime suspect. So Dressler and his cone show up and open fire at Colt and Dan, who quickly take action. Dressler ends up shooting and destroying Ryder's phone out of Colt's hands. The fight of some cones as Colt makes it outside and jumps onto the Ryder bot, crashing through the roof. He then finds himself face to face with Ryder before getting knocked out cold. Colt wakes up to find himself tied up. With the Ryder damage his phone back, he admits he killing Henry and setting up Colt to be the fully guy for the crime, as well as informating him that the interior cover-up has Gaily ideas after he want Crank to do. Ryder also admits that set up Colt accidentally because he felt Colt was stealing his thunder. This happened just as Gaily goes to meet with Jody tells him that Colt is the suspect in Henry murder. After Colt admits that Dressler destroyed the phone, Ryder has his gun discuss Colt with the crossens to light him on fire, but he gets some in his mouth and spit at all Dressler when he tries to light him up. Colt hops on a boat and tries to get away while Sterling back away. He tries to contact Jody, but Gaily internationally gets her phone wet before Jody can answer his call. Colt eventually manages to reach Jody and tries to explain himself, but the villain chases after him and chases his boat to crash explode. Though he managed to jump to safety, Colt is presumed dead and is building a suicide. While the villains use the deep-faked tease to use Claude face on Ryder's body in the video showing Ryder killing Henry. Colt is Dan and gets help seeking back onto set in the disguise as an alien from the movie. Jody beats him up to do the convention until the reveals himself before Colt can explain himself. Jody impairs him with a kiss, but the moment is renewed with the Gaily outside. Jody hides Colt and hears Gaily talk about Colt's post-death as well as trying to do Jody big car jump stunt for the film in VFX and focusing on Ryder's epic final monologue. After Gaily leaves, Colt and Jody organize a plan to get Ryder to convince to the murder by getting him to make him to do the car jump himself since he will wearing a mic and he usually forget he is being recorded, so he's always seen or heard saying whatever he want unfiltered. The crew gets ready for the big scene and the shoots Ryder monologue. Jody gets Ryder onto the car by saying she needs a. The crew gets ready for the big scene and the shoots Ryder monologue. Jody gets Ryder into the car by saying she needs a close-up of him. Colt reveals himself a begin to drive the car away, promoting Dressler and he's going to go after him. Jody and Dan help keep the gun off Colt long enough until he gets Ryder to admit to killing Henry and saying Gaily came up with the frame job before Colt pulls the epic jump across the canyon, which knocks Ryder unconsciously. Gaily then gets a chopper to come get and Ryder after she steals his convention tape. With help from Jodie, Colt is thrown toward the helicopter and fight both Kelly and Ryder until gets back and jump down onto a crash mat set up by the crew at the right time. Colt and Jodie celebrate their victory with a kiss. Maelstrom eventually hits theaters with the Jensen MoMA replacing Ryder as the lead actor. The film becomes a major hit, and Alma gets her producer credit. Colt says that while the heroes in the film got their happy, Maelstrom eventually hits theater with the Jensen MoMA replacing Ryder as the lead actor. The film became a major hit and the Alma gets her producer credit. Colt says that while the heroes in the film got their happy ending, he and Jodie got there as well as. The credit show of the stunt show in the film. At the end, we see the police coming to arrest Ryder and Gally after the chopper crashes. They are met by the lead Job, Lee Major and the Hal Thomas, the star of the original Fall Guy TV show, but the rider runs off onto the set to try and call for help. The credit show of the stunt show in the film. At the end, we see the police coming to arrest Ryder and Kelly after their chopper crasher. They are met by lead Job Lee Major and Helter Thomas, the star of the original Fall Guy TV show, but Ryder runs off onto the set to try and call for help. This activities the potential and below Ryder up, leading Alma to call for Moma's agent. Colt Seavers is a seasoned stuntman in a relationship with the cameraman Jody Morneau. After a stunt gone wrong leaves Colt severely injured, he leaves the business behind and also cuts Jody off, leaving her angry with him. Over a year later, Colt is connected by film producer Gally Muir, who wants him to be the stuntman on a new space epic called Maelstrom, which Jodie is directing. Colt comes back only for her, but she is not happy to see him. Gally later tells Colt that the film star Tom Ryder has gone missing and she asks for Colt's help in getting him back so that the film production goes smoothly. After dabbling with various people trying to beat him, and she asks for Colt's help in getting him back so that the film production goes smoothly. After dabbling with various people trying to beat him up, Colt goes to Ryder's hotel room and finds the corpse of another one of the Ryder's stuntmen, Henry. Meanwhile, Colt also tries to ridicule his relation with the Jodie while also helping influencer for filmmaking decisions. Colt later runs into, after dealing with various people trying to beat him up, Colt goes to Ryder's hotel room and finds the corpse of another one of the Ryder's stuntmen, Henry. Meanwhile, Colt also tries to ridden his relationship with Jodie while also helping influence her filmmaking decision. Colt later runs into the Ryder assistant Alma Martin, who gives Colt Ryder phone, which supposedly has something on it that the another people do not want getting out. Some of Ryder's secretly gone then update Alma, but Colt chases after them and save Alma. But he missing out on a planet meet with him Jodie. Colt gets help from his friend and co-worker Dan Tracker as they get into the Ryder phone and find video evidence of his accidentally killing Henry after trying to phone he can do his own stunt. The guns from earlier then show up to kill Colt, which result in the phone being destroyed. With help from Dan, Colt escapes the house but is knocked out by Ryder and his gun. Ryder reveals that he set up the accident. That Colt gets help from his friend and co-worker Dan Tracker as they get into the Ryder phone and find video evidence of him accidentally killing Henry after trying to prove he can do his own stunt. The guns from earlier then show up to kill Colt. His result in the phone being destroyed. With help from Dan, Colt escapes the house but is knocked out by Ryder and his gun. Ryder reveals that he set up the accident that caused Colt injury as well as convincing that Kelly was that one who organized for Colt to be thrown onto the film so that he can end up taking the blame for Henry's death. With deepfake technology being used to frame Colt by having his face on Ryder's body hitting Henry, Colt managed to find his way out and get back to Jodie, where they plan to get Ryder to convince. Jodie sets up for an epic stunt to be shot for her film. Then tickets Ryder onto getting into the car with Colt, who drives away from the gun until Ryder convinces to the murder plus Calvi involvement. After Colt makes the Jodie set up for an epic stunt to be show for her film, then tricks Ryder onto getting on a car with Colt, who drives away from the gun until Ryder convinces to the murder plus Kelly involvement. After Colt makes the epic jump, Kelly steals the evidence and tries escape in a chopper with Ryder, but Colt fights them and gets into bag before jumping to safety. Police arrive to arrest Ryder and the Kelly, but he runs off into the set and pulls himself up after accidentally achieving protection. Milestone gets made with the Jensen Momoa as the lead actor and it becomes a hit. Colt and Jodie also successful get back together. The Fall Guy new record unexpectedly beats Ellie Blunt $975 million hit, and I am surprised. I am shocked that The Fall Guy broke opportunity all-time statement record of Peacock. While The Fall Guy certainly deserved to make more of box office splash when it was released in theaters back in May 2024, the fact that it has surprised Oppenheimer as the most statement movie on Peacock in just a few weeks in incredible impressively. Seeing The Fall Guy find massive statement success in validating, but could not also point to the increase in Peacock subscriber following the 2024 Paris Olympic and kick off the NFL season. The Fall Guy beating Oppenheimer's statement record is very impressive. The Fall Guy was expected to well on statement but performed by beating Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer was obviously a massive hit in theaters back in summer 2023 and was one of the most talked about movie of the year, winning Best Picture and 6 other awards at the 2024 Academy Award. It was no surprise that Oppenheimer's success in theaters translated to statement when the Universal project found its exclusive statement home on Peacock, roughly 7 months after its July 21, 2023 release. The Fall Guy was expected to do well on statement but overperforming by beating. Project found its exclusive statement home on Peacock crucially even 7 months after its July 21, 2023 release. The Fall Guy was expected to do well on statement but overperforming by beating Oppenheimer. Gosling follow up to Barbie and Emily Blunt follow up to Oppenheimer. Both were nominated for Oscar for their roles in those films, all thought neither walk away with the prize. What more, The Fall Guy is a completely different movie from Oppenheimer, being perfect romantic comedy part actions. For Oscar for their role in those films, all thought neither walk with the prize. Watson, The Fall Guy is a completely different movie for Oppenheimer, being part romantic comedy, part action comedy, and 100% cover placing fun. If Oppenheimer had not been such a box office hit in 2023, it possibly could have been a statement hit due to its lengthy runtime and distant subject matter. Why The Fall Guy beating Oppenheimer on statement is so surprising. I find it fascinating that a crowd-pleasing action film is more of a statement hit than a complex historical biopic. Oppenheimer had more build-up and awareness leading up to its theatrical run, giving viewers who missed the opportunity to catch it on the big screen during its extended run in the theaters a chance to see it before the Academy Award. The Fall Guy did not have nearly as much hype for its theatrical run but certainly leans into the post Oppenheimer friendly feud between Gosling and Blunt. Massive 2023 projects. 2023 was Oppenheimer. Your beat may not have the best reply value as the time goes on, while The Fall Guy is a fan. Have the best reply value as it goes on, while The Fall Guy is a fan is a watch that can be seen again and again. The Fall Guy and The Fall Guy statement cut are the post statement excel vastly on the peak on. The Fall Guy returned on another 2024 box office flop on the statement chart. After the underwhelming theatrical run, the Fall Guy series now hires online David Leitch later on the stunt work, write a new chapter of success by Dorner, another major box office flop at the top of Prime Video statement charts. Per Collider, The Fall Guy has a spice, cherished mass action comedy. Read One to become Prime Video most popular movie this week. The Leitch Helmet film took the title from Red One, which had the biggest ever Prime Video statement debut after hitting the statement service last December. Starting Oscar nominees Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt, The Fall Guy had high hope ahead of theatrical debut last May, boasting a $125 million budget and getting reviews follow its South by Southwest premiere 2 months earlier. That's on 82% critical rating and 85% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. The Fall Guy made $181 million over worldwide, filing to make Universal Pictures the significant profit that hoped for amid the good feedback. Instead, Universal reportedly lost $50 million due to the film box office showing Ryan Gosling starred in The Fall Guy. Loosely based on the 80s TV series of the same name, The Fall Guy, Colonel Gosling's central character, Colt Seavers, past is a prime stunt person who left his career after breaking his back while doubling for action star Tom Raider, Aaron Taylor Johnson, when his ex-girlfriend Jodie Merona Blunt. Directorial debut goes haywire after Tom suddenly disappeared. Colt returned to action to save her film. However, he becomes unwittingly ensnared in a conspiracy. He becomes unwittingly ensnared in a conspiracy surrounding Tom, putting his life and career at risk. Also starting Hannah Waddingham, Wisdom Duck, Lee Majors, and the Step Hanya host, and a surprise cameo from Jensen Momoa. The Fall Guy review whispered praise for its ode to stunt people. Meanwhile, Gosling and Blunt earned positive review for their performance in the main roles. Leitch and Gosling have expressed their hopes for a potential sequel to The Fall Guy, but whether Universal will stunt a follow-up after its loss from box office showing is uncertain. The Fall Guy was a passion project for Leitch, who successfully made the jump from stunt work to filmmaking, co-directing John Wick from the director debut alongside Chad Stacy. Leitch is also known for directing Atomic Blonde, Deadpool 2, and the Fast and Furious spin-off Hobbies and Cha. Leitch has also been an executive producer on all four John Wick films and a production credit on 2 upcoming projects, Love Hands and Nobody 2. Fans can stream The Fall Guy via Prime Video or on Peak, with 20 minutes of additional content included. Movie lovers can also access the film on home video. The Fall Guy refused to throw in the towel as it passed major domestic box office milestone, $45 million globally, but is not expected to reach $100 million domestically. The film features an 81 approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes and a cinema score. The film inherently underperformed at the box office, though it's continued to find success. It's been over a month now that The Fall Guy has been available to teach on digital platform, but the film is still playing in over 1,000 domestic theaters. The action comedy was perceived to have underperformed upon its theatrical debut back in May. The Fall Guy has grossed $45 million globally, is not expected to reach $100 million domestically. The film features an 81 approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes and a cinema score. The film entirely underperformed at the box office, though it's counting to find success. It's been over a month now that The Fall Guy has been available to watch on digital platforms, but the film is still playing in over 100 domestic theaters. The action comedy was perceived to have underperformed upon its theatrical debut back in May. It's been over a month now that The Fall Guy has been available to watch on digital platforms, but the film is still playing in over 1,000 domestic theaters. The action comedy was perceived to have underperformed upon its theatrical debut back in May and Universal safely released in OVID platforms less than 20 days later. Produced on a hefty reported budget between 125 million and 150 million, The Fall Guy has grossed around $45 million globally since it was made available at home, which raises the questions how much more could it have possibly made had Universal held out. Starting Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt, The Fall Guy passed a major new domestic box office milestone. Starting Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt, The Fall Guy passed a major new domestic box office milestone this weekend, falling out of the tent for the first time its theatrical run. The film grossed $1 million domestically this past weekend, its eighth, as it hit the 90 million mark at this stage. Three little chance of it hitting the 100 million milestone, but many had written it off entirely. But it opened to a very luxury $27 million in the first week of May, having been bestowed the responsibility of the inauguration this summer. Globally, the film passed the $107 million milestone, having made 82 million miles from overseas market. The Fall Guy's top international market remains the United Kingdom where it has grossed $50 million, followed by the Australia, Germany, France and Mexico. Universal Stain did not get crowned when it came to promoting the film. The Fall Guy premiered at the South by Southwest Film Festival in March, leaving the studio with 2 months to build buzz. Gosling and Blunt, fresh off their Oscar-nominated and global success of Barbie and Oppenheimer, were sent on an expensive publicity tour while the internationally prepared a grand launch to the summer movie season. But the online buzz did not translate into box office review. Deposit Athletic Review. The Fall Guy will fall short of the 100 million mark domestically. The Fall Guy has settled an 81% approval rating on the aggregate website Rotten Tomatoes. The audience rating is even better at 86%. The movie has also earned an excellent cinema score, whose influence can be seen in its unstable box office. The Fall Guy has settled at an 81% approval rating on the aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes. The audience rating is ever better at 86%. The movie also earned an excellent cinema score, whose influence can be seen in its stunt box office performance. Domestically, the movie's biggest drop, 51%, came back in its second week. Its top drop, 28%, came in weekend 4. Deposit losing over 600 theaters this past weekend. The movie managed to deliver a per theaters average of $900 million. The film follows a stunt performance named Colt Seavers, whose success into a conspire involving the star to the double for revolving on a film directed by his ex-girlfriend. The Fall Guy is directed by David Leitch. The film follows a stunt performance named Colt Seavers, who is stunt in a conspiracy involving the movie Sarah Double for. While working on a film directed by his ex-girlfriend, The Fall Guy is directed by David Leitch, who has experienced both blockbuster success and critical acclaim in his filmmaking career, and last directed Bullet Train, which grossed over $100 million domestically and more than $200 million worldwide. What does Gosling and Blunt track record look like? Gosling is regarded as one of Hollywood's most recognized stars, but the unfortunately reality is that he has always struggled as a blanket leading man. He is, after all, one of the few stars of his stunt who has refused to participate in superhero horror franchise. Bring Barbie, which has several other key factors going for it. Gosling is the last few years has started in big budget underperforming such as First Man and Blade Runner 2049. Before that, they started The Night Skies. Each of these movies is certainly acclaimed, but none of them can be categorized as a hit. He also started in the debut statement release The Grey Man. Blunt also has the theatrical underperformance and a Netflix and under her belt. Brent also has a theatrical underperformance and a Netflix and Under the Her Belt, Jungle Cruise and Pain Hustle, but on the other hand, she started in the box office hits A Quiet Place Part 2, and Mary Poppins Return. The Fall Guy falls down to 27 million plus opening Monday update. Monday AM Universal The Fall Guy has tumbled to $27.7 million. This after a lower than expected Sunday of $6.9 million, 0.33% from Saturday. Global come is $64.4 million at $1 billion off. Some are overseas as what this lower than expected result means for that power, especially for Gosling coming off Barbie. The three Oscar nominated actor did everything to promote Fall Guy down to dressing up as a basic at the Hollywood premiere of the film. Look, as we mentioned, Fall Guy is third highest opening of his career stateside, Barbie being an outlier. Moviegoers in a statement age R42, specialists and deliberate from they leave the house. An original Hollywood set action film was not worth their time. Perhaps Gosling a different kind of astronaut that he was in First Man in wrote the time in Amazon MGM studio project Hail Mary in the end. As of late, Gosling can get a movie open to 20 million plus. Other thing to consider, Fall Guy is not a movie that particularly free of summer. It's a movie you can find either in August, the second weekend of June, or even of the season, which is where this was originally scheduled on 1 March. If the cost was lower here on the original title than 130 million, 150 million, we would be surprised into this much. Sunday AM Brighton after Saturday AM update. Universal The Fall Guy is not so strong and nobody is really shocked. While it was projected to do at least $30 million and is coming in $28.5 million. This is the range for originally action comedies even when they Sunday AM written after Saturday AM update. Universal The Fall Guy is not too strong and nobody is really shocked. While it was projected to at the last $30 million and is coming at the $28.5 million. This is the range for originally action comedies even when the star Ryan Gosling post-track exist report his 50% of the reason why people went to see the movie. Various 35% for Emily Blunt. Pick took in $25.4 million from offshore marketing, rising its foreign gross to $36.9 million globally to $65.4 million. The opener for Fall Guy is actually on the higher on the Gosling star, ranked third after announcedly Barbie and Blade Runner 2049, $32.7 million. Yet further down on the opening, Fall Guy is actually on the higher and Gosling star, ranked third after normally Barbie $162 million and Blade Runner 2049, $32.7 million. Yet further down on the blends, it's the ninth biggest opening of her career stateside, short of Edge of Tomorrow $28.7 million and Jungle Cruise $35 million. With an asterisk, it did not have a theatrical day and the date posted on Disney Plus. So what gives? Voice Fall Guy playing like a default balance even with a grade A cinema score and 90% positive on post-talk. First, yes, we will still an uneven marketplace and won't be out of its will have more movie toward the end of the movie into June, leading up to Inside Out 2 on Father Day weekend. The interior box office weekend is totaling around $73 million or 55% from the same frame a year ago, when Destiny, Marvel Studio and Guardians of the Galaxy Vol. 3 leading summarize character with the $180.4 million. But in Fall Guy depths how well it plays with the audience. SXSW crowds were badly laughing There nothing that Sir came rush to this deposit universal showing of the fun and the romance in its campaign. It's too inside Hollywood and this type of movie near play to an upper white crowd deposit how acceptable the studio and filmmakers have tried to make it. Why do young people want to see this movie? Challenge a movie franchise course, most of all for an original event film at the $130 million $150 million plus dollar. This movie is too damn expensive. They should have spent like Tom Roth and make it for $80 million. Why is Universal spending its extra money? Instead of spending $220 million, $230 million between production and marketing cost, they could have pulled this off for $180 million, $186 million. Added this source. Some marketing, some sources are denying the Fall Guy brand. Nobody under 60 remembers that show. However, I did not think Universal sold the movie on that. And studio have shown before that they can take an anti-cute TV property and turn it to a mega franchise. Hello Mission Impossible and the Too Curious were Gen Xer and actually watched Mission Impossible back in the later 60-second. Not me, I was not around then. Great movie can assume their brand. Other sources have critiqued that for those leaving the theaters, Fall Guy is a hard movie plot-wise for them to describe to others. It took someone 3 paragraphs to tell me what the movie was about, remarked one insider. While that might be true, note that trailers for Fall Guy distill the movie to its most crystal clear element. Also, we can't ignore the great exist here for movie. Unfortunately, the mess are not feeling author themselves to see the Fall Guy. Evidence that there was heat on the Fall Guy before opening. Restless Meek report that the movie's social media universe across YouTube, TikTok, X, Instagram and Facebook stood at $266.7 million, 30% below action-adventure norm. Heck, it was even under allegedly $272 million. In addition, Amazon MGM Studio Challenger did have a good hold at 49%, meaning they were able to keep some younger women away from the glossing peak. 71 women, 80-24 at 24%. However, the India Tunes rom-com is coming in $1.1 million, later than expected. Yesterday pick was a. In addition, Amazon MGM Studio Challenge did have a gold hot at the. They were able to keep up younger women away from the glossing peak. 71% women, 80-24, 8-24%. However, the Zynga Tennings rom-com is coming in $1.1 million, later light expected. Yesterday peak was at $8.7 million for a $7.6 million weekend too. Women under 25 were the lowest to show up yesterday for Fall Guy at the 30%, with men over the 25 leading at 38%, women over 25 at 33%, who gave the peak its best grade of 93%, and the mean under 25 at 60%. Universal is confident that given the exist for Fall Guy, more women will come out in the month ahead, as its only choice for that audience is a guy switching marketplace of fashions, kingdom of the plants of the apps and the bad boys, ride or die. Said Universal domestic distribution box office gem or David Leitch and Kelly have crafted an incredible entertainment film with the Fall Guy, and clearly audience agree, evidenced by the film expectationally strong cross. The chemistry between Ryan Gosling and Family Blunt is the fantasy, and we anticipate audience will continue to be thrilled by the film for weeks to come. Fall Guy best play areas for the West and mountain regions. AMC Lincoln Square is certainly the top grossing venue for the peak with $91K in the kill through Saturday night. IMAX and PFLX are diving 44% of a Fall Guy weekend, from the former ringing up $3 million. Largest square for the David Leitch directed movie is 25-34 at 25%, with diversity demo seeing 52% Caucasians, 25% Latino and Hispanic, 25% Latino and Hispanic, 8% Black, 10% Asian and 5% other. Universal giving the love for the film among older women believe it will let out. Universal give the love for the film among older women believe it will lag out. Look, $100 million domestically is not off the reel of the possibly a la Lost City and Bull Train, but Fall Guy could drop into PVOD by Memorial Day weekend. With 8% Rotten Tomatoes critical review and 52% audience score as well as C cinema score and 59 post-tag on Sony Screen Camo. Treat you did not need a Seneso to see that the clever city to Lost going to spend on the more demo is marketing this movie. Hence the $60.5 million opening there on the single digital budget little. The PG-30 movie in 52% female leading with 80 to 34 years old repairing 67% of the audience with 8% Rotten Tomatoes critical review and 52% audience score as well as C cinema score and 59% post-tag on Sony Screen Gems. Tereto, you did not need a physics to see that the Cultivator City 2 was not going to spend one more demo in marketing this movie. Hence the $6.5 million opening there on the single digital budget title, the PG-30 movie in 52% female launching, with 80 to 34 years old repairing 67 of the audience. Those 80 to 24 were the biggest demo at 40%, Divesti demo were 38% Latin and hence peak 30% Caucasians, 60% Black, 9% Asian and 7% other. Territory based regions were the South, South Central and the Mid-East with the cinema score Rialto the highest grossing location so far with the close to $6K EK other sunrise. Viva Dragon Keeper in Spanish and English open in 760 theaters with the main gross forward looking the $429K for the weekend. The animated indicate film is set in ancient China and follow a young girl who must find the last remaining dragon egg and on fall. Viva Dragon Keeper in Spanish and English open in 760 theaters with the gross for the world looking like $429K for the weekend. The animated indie kids film is set in ancient China and follow a young girl who must find the last remaining dragon egg and fulfill her destiny. A24 saw the TV glow from the Janice Colin about two revengers who bond over a supranational TV show, but then its mythological cancer did some good numbers with the $44K Friday, $34.6K Saturday from AMC Lancome Square, Angelica NY AMC Burbank and AMC Grove Inward shaping up to be a $116.3K 3-day or $29K per theaters median. Critic love it 88% certifies. A24 I saw the TV glow from the Janice Coben about two strangers who bond over a supranational TV show, but then it's not mythological cancer did some good numbers with the 54K Friday, 34.6K Saturday from AMC Lacona Square, Angelica NY AMC Burbank and AMC Grow in the world shaping up to be a $163K 3 days of $29K per theaters. Maybe Cricket love it 88% certified fresh. Maybe Certes love it 88% certified fresh. 402 theaters. Fry $10.4 million at $10.2 million cent. $7.7 million 3 days. $28.5 million week. Star Wars The Pantomime means 2,700 theaters. Fry $2.4 million. Sacher $4.6 million. Sun $1 million 3 days. $8.1 million total lifetime. $482.6 million 1 week. Saturday, May the 4th pushed this re-release crossing higher. In addition, there were week 23K in the mix for Matron screen time, a 4-minute special of the Destiny Plus, The Acolyte with the 10 to the movie, all in $40.5 million globally weekend. So not part of Destiny marketing for the trailer. 2,700 theaters. Fry $2.4 million, Set $4.6 million, Sen $1 million 3-day, $8.1 million total lifetime, $482.6 million. 1 week re-release. Saturday, May the 4th pushed this re-release grossing higher. In addition, there were gross $300 in K. In the mix from market and screen time, a 4-minute special of the Destiny Plus, the alcohol was attached on the movie. All in, 40.5 million global weekend. So no part of Destiny marketing for the trailer has no one catch the fan-made AI 1950s positions inspired trailer of the Star Wars movie. Here Phantom Massive Freaky Dag 477 theaters. Fried $2.5 million. Sunday $2.1 million 3-day. $7.6 million minus 49% total. Total $29.5 million 2-week. Toronto Sony 104 theaters. Saturday $2.3 million, Sunday $1.6 million 3 days, $6.5 million 1 week. Godzilla and Kong, Godzilla x Kong, LG Web 2.884 theaters, minus 428. Fry $1 million, Fry $1 million, minus 41%. Saturday $2 million, Sunday $1.37 million. Sunday $1.37 million 3-day, $4.5 million minus 38% total, $188 million 6-week minus 829 theaters. Friday $977K minus 49%. Saturday $1.5 million. Sunday $1 million 3-day, $3.55 million minus 48% total, $62 million 4-week. Unsung Hero LG 2,832 theaters. Friday $867K minus 77%. Saturday $1.2 million. Sunday $893K 3-day $3 million minus 60% total, $30.1 million 2-week. Kung Fu Panda 4 Uni 2,380 minus 387 theaters, 520K theaters. Friday $520K minus 30K minus 30% minus 38%. Saturday $1.1 million. Sunday $740K 3 days, $2.4 million minus 38%. Total $188.3 million 9-week. Abigail Uni 2,638 minus 755 theaters. Friday $690K theaters. Saturday $1 million Sun 600K 3-day $2.3 million minus 55%. Total $22.7 million. Total $22.7 million 3-week. Glostable Frozen Empire Sony 2,025 minus 602 theaters. Friday $405K minus 49%. Saturday $865K. Sunday $530K 3-day $1.8 million minus 45%. Total $109.9 million 7-week. Universal The Fall Guy is coming in a little light right now at $10.4 million today included previous from But Looking. Friday midday Universe The Fall Guy is coming in a little light right now at $10.4 million today included previous from But Looking like a $28 million opening at 4,002 theaters below its 35 million projections. Many are not shocked. This is why action comedies open and Fall Guy is not that far from the $30 million start of Paramount 2022 adventure rom-com The Lost City and David Leitch's previous movie 2022 Bullet Train. But drama was Fall Guy for the concept expensive at $130 million after Australia tax credit. Some have heard the production cost was even higher at $150 million. Fall Guy already has $8.4 million plus in the bank from a 38 mark rollout last weekend included Australia, Turkey, Netherlands and Spain. The movie goes into 40 plus marketing this weekend included UK and Ireland, Germany, France and Mexico. No RT audience score yet. Amazon MGM Studio Challenges is boxed at 3,477 theaters and having $2.55 million in its second Friday, minus 59% for 3 days, around $8.75 million, minus 42% for a running come of $30.5 million. Third place goes to 10th Century Lux Film Destiny Star Wars Episode 1 The Phantom Many 8 2,700 locations for a $2.65 million Friday, $8.5 million 3-day related The Fall Guy review a high-flying debut to Hollywood using stunt heroes minus SXSW. Sony Screen Gems Toronto book at the 3,014 locations is seeing a $2.4 million Friday, 3-day of $6 million per social media mentor Relax Max. Sony Screen The Gems Toronto booked at 3,104 location in seeing Friday 3-day of $6 million per social media mentor Relax Mix Pix is running 39% under the first installment hero genre numbers across TikTok, Facebook, X, YouTube and Instagram combined. Legendary Warner Bros. Godzilla x Kong The New Empire in weekend 6-8 2,884 seats is sitting $3.8 million minus 40% minus 47% after a 1 million Friday running total is $187.4 million by Sunday. Friday AM Universal Dead of Summer Thursday night with the Ryan Gosling Emily Blunt action comedy The Fall Guy, which made $3.50 million from showtime that began at 8:05 p.m. and Wednesday advanced screen thinks the movie is only expected to do around $35 million for the weekend, maybe $40 million. That not your typical start to summer, but we are in this production due to the strikes Galaxy on features film. Related The Fall Guy trailer Ryan Gosling curious to tell shift in new take on 80s TV hit. Previous Vice that star reside near Premiere 2022 adventure rom-com Lost City which did $3.2 million before it opening and a $105.3 million domestically final. The most recent release date for The Fall Guy had been March 1, but Universal pushed it to this weekend after Disney and Marvel Studio moved that box and Waddingham at to end of July, which some now view as the true start of summer. Universal playing big time in The Fall Guy, brightening it down to SXSW in Austin for the world premiere where audience loved their axis off. This was followed by a screen time at the onset of CinemaCon from the most recent release date for The Fall Guy had been March. The most recent release date for The Fall Guy had been 1 March, but Universal pushed it to this weekend after Destiny and Marvel Studio most Deadpool and Waddingham to end of July, which some now view as the true start of summer. Universal relied big time in The Fall Guy, brightening it down to SXSW in Austin for a world premiere where audience loved their axis off. This was followed by screen time at the onset of CinemaScore for exhibition was a stunt-filled Hollywood premiere on Tuesday night. The anticipation is that the glossing factor The Fall Guy will keep pulling women to theaters. Also, the movie Deposit It Insider Universal believe big time in The Fall Guy, bring it down to in Austin for a world premiere where audience loved their axis off. This was followed by a screen time at the of CinemaScore for exhibitor with the stuntman. This was followed by a screen timing at the onset of CinemaCon for exhibitor with a stunt-filled Hollywood premiere on Tuesday night. The anticipation is that the glossing factor that Fall Guy will keeping pulling women to theaters. Also, the movie Deposit Insider Hollywood vibe has a sensibility of years. 70s, 80s action titles, one that used to consider the middle of the country, Red Smoky and The Blind every which way but loose. Related summer box office spins from $3 billion. Gratified could scratch Folious Betelgeuse 2 might see best opening just outside of season and others any said. Review for this PG-30 movie are very respectable at 85% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. The Fall Guy, which cost $130 million before PA and expand to 4,002 theaters with the PXL and the IMAX. Sony Screen Time gems young female seeking director from filmmaker Spencer, John and Anna Halber was made for $8 million and only expected to do $5 million, $6 million. It made $750K on Thursday from showtimes that began at 4 p.m. in 2,744 locations. Here the blur for the which are rated critics Genix at the 9% Rotten. When a group of friends recalculates villainous the skirt rules of territory reading, they unknowingly unleashes an unescapable evil trap with the crushed crowds. One by one, they come face to face with the fate and end up in a race against death. Also getting re-released this weekend as Star Wars Episode 1, The Pattern Tomatoes from Destiny. This show celebrate 25th anniversary to the requel time to May 4th August Star Wars Day. Destiny will be showing the peak in 2,600 domestic theaters, included 105 premiere larger format screen time and 130 specially motion D-Box 4D auditions. 130 specially motion D-Box 4D advanced lays have been sold since languages on 22 March. Speaking this weekend, the 14th anniversary re-release of Star Wars. The 14th anniversary re-release of Star Wars Return of the Jedi opened to $5.1 million 3 days about this time last year. The Phantom Means will be paired with an exclusive sneak peek of the upcoming Star Wars series The Eclota, with premiere 4 June on Disney Plus. Amazon MGM Studio Loga Gandiona directed Zengia movie Challenger ends 1 week with the $21.8 million after a $1.3 million Thursday, minus 70% for Destiny at 3,477. It will keep up from IMAX Screen Time weekend. Amazon MGM Studio Luca Guadagnino directed Challenger ends 1 week with the $21.8 million after a $1.3 million Thursday, minus 70% from Wednesday at 3,477. It will keep a few IMAX screen this weekend. Lion Stitch Unused Hero is second for the week with the $10.1 million after a $465K 2,832 locations. Legendary Warner Box 5th of the Godzilla X Kong. The New Empire clocked $9.1 million at 3,312 Venice after a $370K Thursday. Thursday, minus 48 from Wednesday. The peak running comps is $183.5 million, 3,580 Venice after a $480K Thursday, minus 9% from Wednesday. Universal Radio Slay's Hero movie Abigail booked at 3,393 locations and week 2 with the $7 million after a $323K Thursday, minus 90% for a running total of $20.5 million. Both Stunt and Gosling, how did The Fall Guy flop and what does that mean for cinema? On paper, it could not fail. The Fall Guy was a lock as the summer first and possibly biggest box office smash. It had it all. Action, comedy, romance, record-breaking stunt, 2 of the honest star around, great review and a dog. Yet fail or at least stumble. The Fall Guy did. David Leitch's ball and whistle blockbuster was tricked to make $40 million at the USA box office on its opening weekend. Yet fall or at least stumble. The Fall Guy did. David Leitch's bill and whistle blockbuster was tracked to make $40 million at the USA box office on its opening weekend. Instead, it landed just only of $28 million, a soft opening in head overseas where it picked up $30 million across 68 other territories. Its current global total stands at $70 million. Received estimates now put its likely final grossed at $80 million domestically and $150 million overseas. A broad-line break-even once you factor in the $130 million budget plus a lavish marketing spend. Its planned picture compared with the last summer when Gosling and Blunt were helping star the premiere. Judgment to cinema saving glory. Barbie in her own 1.5 billion, Oppenheimer $954 million. This hit has been much lauded, promoting the fall guy. At the Oscar, the pair did a double act as a presents, nodding to Barnimer and plugging their new film big, if slightly nice message. Stunt performer should be. This hit has been much larger. Promoting the fall guy at the Oscar, the pair did a double act as a presents, loading to premiere and plugging their new film big, if slightly niche message stunt performance should be clever just as much as star. They follow this up with a debut on Saturday Night Live their week ago, further battering about the legacy of premiere and how hard Gosling keen person was to shake off. This rifle may have broken more accurate than interested perhaps Gosling current star voter on Mir to the character he played in the Guitar Guru movie than actual appeal. Might he not be a name who can open movie after all? We are still thinking about movie syndrome and publicity in a way that is probably 20 years out of data, says Stephen Gaddos, executive editor of Variety. Barbie and Oppenheimer, remarkable success, much more to timing. Both films were related in the white heat of their marketing push and agency compound by the need to get all presses completed before the lumping actors strike. The Fall Guy by contract premiered at the South by Southwestern in earlier March, almost 2 months before its release. Think move further these days, says Gaddos. You can't hold things back. Attention times are so short. The marketing has to be lighting perfect. He contrasts the fact of the Fall Guy with that of Dune. Part 2, which opened in the late February, barely a fortnight after its the first ever screening, and it's now on $78 million worldwide. Both films also center on a love affair, but while Gosling is 43 and Blunt 40, Dune star Tomatoes Chalamet and Zendaya are still in their 20s. For 42, 24 years old, a romance between people in their 40s is another country, says Cortaz. A lot of what make The Fall Guy a terrifying film may not make it a terrific hit. In the audience for a 130 million action movie, the same audience who will enjoy a Howard Oswald-style sweet, strictly thoughtful romance. This skew towards an older audience, less included anyway to frequency the multiples ills also appear in The Fall Guy, source material and early 80s TV series starting Lee Majors, rarely glimpsing on screen these days. The movie has meant the intellectual property of something which does not have any value of anyone under 50, says Kotas, where the Dune franchise still clearly has a lot of light film in it. And while Hollywood has long been fond of making love letters to Hollywood, these are increasingly being returned to sender by bored audience. The fate of Demon Cheesley early cinema extravaganza Babylon 2022, which was tipped to repeat the success of La La Land, should perhaps have served as a quotations. That film ended up making just $63 million back from its $80 million budget, and with no consolation Oscar to boot. Movie about elevation generally don't work, says Kotas, and they Fall Guy. It's not romantic the Stone or Indian Jones, it about how the suggests are made. The failure of The Fall Guy considered rumors currently circulating in Hollywood that continue that 2024 box office may really be in bad shape. A lot of chickens are coming home to roast. This marks the first year since 2009 without a Marvel movie to kickstart the summer, and there is only one superhero offering in the whole Hollywood period. Deadpool and Waddingham, whose R rating will impact the climax on its possible haul. That does not arrive in cinema until late July, leaving children film pick up this lecky. Kung Fu Panda 4 is the second highest grossing film of the year, after then Part 2 with Deepika Capable, Me and Inside Out sequel following in June and July. Typical 40 of the interior annual USA ticking are made between Star of May and Labor Day at the beginning of December. Pre-COVID, the fight of that period regularly topped. In 2023, it was $4.1 billion. This year, estimate is $3 billion, a lost large record in 2000. Turning to us in moments of circus, uncertainty, solidarity, and hope. More than 1.50 million superstar crop 180 countries now power us financially, keeping us open to all. And fiercely independent, will you make a difference and support us too? Unlikely many others, the Guardians has no shareholders and no billionaires owner, just the determination and the passion to deliver high-impact global reporting, always free from commercial or polite influence. Reporting like this is vital for documentary, for formula to demand better from the powerful, and we proved all this for free, for everyone to read. We do this because we believe in information equality. Greater number of people can keep track of the global events shaping our world, understand their impact on people and community, and become inspired to take magnificent action. Milestone can benefit from open access to quality, truthful news regardless of their ability to pay for it. Whatever you give, a little or a lot, your finding will power our reporting for the years to come. If you can please supporting us on a monthly base, it's take. We do this because we believe in information equality. Greater number of people can keep track of the global events shaping our world, understand their impact on people, and continue and become inspired to take meaningful action. Milestone can benefit from open success to quality, truthful news regardless of their ability to pay for it. Whether you give a little or lot, your finding will power our reporting for the years to come. If you can please support us on a monthly base, it takes less than a minute to set up, and you can rest assured that you're making a big impact every sign month in support for open, independent journalism. The Fall Guy news record unexpectedly beats Family Blend $975 million hit, and I am surprised. I am shocked that The Fall Guy broke Oppenheimer all-time streaming record of Peacock. While The Fall Guy certainly deserved to make more of box office splash when it. I am shocked that Fall Guy broke Oppenheimer all-time streaming record of Peacock. While The Fall Guy certainly deserved to make more of a box office splash when it was released in theaters back in May 2024. The fact that it has surprised Oppenheimer as the most streamed movie on Peacock in just a few weeks in credibility impressive. Seeing The Fall Guy and massive streaming success is validating, but could also point to increase in Peacock subscribe. Follow the 2024 perhaps Olympic and the kick-off the NFLC season. The Fall Guy beating Oppenheimer's streaming record is very impressive. The Fall Guy was expected to do well on streaming but overperformed by beating Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer was obviously a massive hit in theaters back in summer 2023 and was one of the most talked about movie of the year, winning a Best Picture and 6 other awards at the 2024 Academy Award. It was no surprise that Oppenheimer's success in theaters translated to streaming when the Universe project found its exclusive streaming home on Peacock, roughly 7 months after his July 21, 2023 release. The Fall Guy was expected to do well on streaming but overperformed by beating. Project found its exclusive streaming home on Peacock, roughly 7 months after its July 21, 2023 release. The Fall Guy was expected to well on streaming but overperformed by beating Oppenheimer. Internationally, The Fall Guy was both Ryan Gosling follow-up to Barbie and Family Blend follow-up to Oppenheimer. Both were nominated for Oscar for their roles in those films, although neither walk away with the prize. What more, The Fall Guy is a completely different movie from Oppenheimer. The Fall Guy is a completely different movie from Oppenheimer, being part romantic comedy, part action. For Oscar for their roles in those films, all thought neither walk away with the prize. What more, The Fall Guy is a completely different movie from Oppenheimer, being part romance comedy, part action comedy, and 100% crowd pleasing fun. In Oppenheimer had been such a box office hit in 2023, its festival could have been a streaming hit due to its lengthy running time and dense subject matter. Why The Fall Guy beating Oppenheimer on streaming is so surprising. I found it fetching that a crowd-pleasing action film is a more of the streaming hit than a complex historical biopic. Oppenheimer had more build-up and awareness leading up its theatrical run, giving review who missed the Oppenheimer to cash it on the big screen during its extended run in theaters a chance to see it before the Academy Award. The Fall Guy did not have nearly as much hype for its theatrical run on it certainly leaned into the post-Barbie friendly feud between Gosling and planned massive 2023 projects. 2023 was Oppenheimer years may not have the best reply value as the goes on. The Fall Guy is a fun, have the best replay value as the time goes on. While The Fall Guy is a fun and easy watch that can be seen again and again. The Fall Guy dethrones another 2024 box office flop to the statement chart. After an underwhelming theatrical run, The Fall Guy rises to new highlight online. David Leitch lover, later to stunt work, write a new chapter of success by determining another major box office flop at the top of premiere video streaming characters. By according, The Fall Guy has surprised Ryan Johnson Christmas action comedy Red One to become Prime Video most popular movie this week. The latest Hollywood film took the title from Red One, which had the biggest ever Prime Video streaming debut after hitting the streaming service last December. Starting Oscar nominations Ryan Gosling and finally blend, The Fall Guy had high hopes ahead of theatrical debut last May, boasting a $155 million budget and getting review following its South by Southwest Prime 2 months earlier deposit an 82% critical rating and 85% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. The Fall Guy made $181 million worldwide, failing to make Universal Pictures the significant profit they hoped for the Admit the Good Bad week. Instead, Universal reported loss $50 million due to the film box office showing. Ryan Gosling starred in The Fall Guy, loosely based on the 80s TV series of the same name. The Fall Guy, Gosling center character Colt Seavers past his prime stunt person who left his career after breaking his back while doubling for action star tour rider Aaron Taylor Johnson. When his ex-girlfriend Jodie Mason director debut goes haywire. After Tom Stanley disappeared, Colt returned to action to save her film. However, he becomes unwittingly injured in a compressively surrounding Tom, putting his life and career at risk. Also starting Hannah Wedding, Weinstein, Lee Major and the Stephen host and a surprise cameo from Jensen Momoa. The Fall Guy received Whisper Prize for its showed the stunt people. Meanwhile, Gosling and Plant earned positive review for their performance in the main role. Leitch and Gosling have expressed their hope for a potential sequel to The Fall Guy, but whenever Universal will sanction a follow-up after its long-form box office showing it's untimely. The Fall Guy was a passion project for Leitch, who successfully made the jump from stunt work to filmmaking, co-directing John Wick for his directorial debut Anagolize. Leitch is also known for directing Atomic Blonde, Deadpool 2 and the Fast and Furious spin-off, Hobbies and Saw. Leitch has also an executive producer on all four John Wick films, has a production credit on two upcoming projects, Love Hunts and Nobody 2. Fans can stream the full Guy VI premiere video or not Peacock with 20 minutes of additional content included. Movie lover can also access the film on home video. The Fall Guy 170 million box office make me very worried about this upcoming SAIF movie. Box office disappointment of recent film raises debut about upcoming sci-fi movie commercial success. Project Hail Mary like the Martin follow a sole Pentagonist faking high-stake challenge. Potential blockbuster stunt of Project Hail Mary high on another following an engaged core material. As promising as this upcoming sci-fi movie, I cannot help but be concerned about it after the Fall Guy disappointing 170 million box office. 2024 started on a high note when Dune Part 2 dominated the box office by earning almost $720 million against a budget of $190 million. As premiere as this upcoming sci-fi movie may seem, I cannot help but be concerned about it after the Fall Guy disappointing 170 million box office. 2024 started on a high note when Dune Part 2 dominated the box office by earning almost $712 million against a budget of $190 million. However, what seemingly started as a great year for cinema soon took a strange trend when survival big budget movies started following at the global box office. Furiosa Mad Max was the most recent victim of this climbing box office numbers trend, making me wonder what factors are leading to this fall in many movie commercial value deposit having the seemingly bankable star like Ryan. A Mad Max was the most recent victim of this climbing box office number trend, making me wonder what factors are leading to this fall in many movies commercial value deposit having seemingly bank star like Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt as its leads and a talented action director like David Leitch is at its helm. The Fall Guy 2 was far from breaking even its box office number. If this trend of dislinking box office return does not change in the near future, I am worried this upcoming sci-fi film might meet the same fate as The Fall Guy and Furious. Project Harry Mary explained what Ryan Gosling upcoming sci-fi movie is about. Written by Andy Weir, who is best known as the author of original The Martin novel. Project Hail Mary follow Ryan Grace played by the Ryan Gosling in the film. In the story opening hour, Grace, a former science tech-run junior high school teacher, awakens also is a Spanish with no memories of the how is end up there and what his purpose is. Things get even more grim when the divorce that Earth face a major extensions, level theaters and the plane fade right in the sea hand. Follow this discovery Ryan, Grace and must put in the scientific thought and their resourcefulness to good use and race against time to save the world before it is too late. In many ways, Project Hail Mary is a reminder of the Martin. Like the Ridley Scott movie, Project Hail Mary also primarily focuses on also around whose narrative is driven by time-bound mission. However, the Project Hail Mary storytelling suggests the stakes for the main characters in the film are way high. Arthur must not only save himself but the interior human race from animated destruction. The Fall Guy box office is concerning for Project Hail Mary. Project Hail Mary story details alone make it one of the most exclusive movie of 2026. The fact that Bill wrote and the Constable Mile, who previously wrote and directed survival acclaimed film like 21 Jump Street and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse are helming it brings immense credibility to it. Ryan Gosling involvement, especially after his recent Oscar-nominated performance in Barbie, and another layer of anticipation to the sci-fi film. However, the Fall Guy's underwhelming box office number raise some questions surrounding Gosling's bankability as a lead actor. Even though Gosling was coming staring off the back of Barbie massive success and hype, with that energy continue in the lead into the Fall Guy, the movie failed to please the massive. The Fall Guy even handled in criticized good book and still boasted a Rotten Tomatoes score of 81%. However, deposit getting positive review from both review and criticize and having a star-studded cast, the film failed to leave its mark at the global box office. Gosling undoubtedly has the action talent to sign handle driver a filmmaker like Project Halle Mary, but is this involvement with the project enough to draw in audience? Why Project Halle Mary could do better than The Fall Guy? Give how any writer work has previously traversed incredibly well to the big screen. Project Hal. Given how Andy Weir work has previously traversed incredibly well to the big screen, Project Halle Mary seems to have the making of a potential blockbuster. All thought Project Halle Mary fall into the high sacrifice brand, which could eventually limit its reach. The film is going to follow Andy Weir, gripping score material that, like the Martin, makes many complex scientific concepts more accessibility. Science Andy Weir also has survival best-selling novel under his belt. The another has a well-established following, which could help Project Halle Mary avoid the Fall Guy box office fate. The Fall Guy is a funny romantic stunt-filled delight. The review was originally published on 12 March 2024. On 21 May, The Fall Guy became available to return to publish on Amazon and iTunes. Look, there's no way I can be objectively about many films that features a song about how there's still no Oscar for Beast. So I won't even try. David Leitch's The Fall Guy, an action comedy masterpiece romance set in the world of the stunt professional in an act of pure movie love, making and matching energy while toasting off in joke and defense to its elevations and not to elevations fabric. It's the kind of picture that can casually use a manual victim teams checked as a plot device, which of the Oscar is a reference not just to the hit 1980 TV show, but also primarily to Universal Studios' short-lived Mammy we see action speller, them spark attractive, as well as the fact that Ryan Gosling can make even the Gosling who comedy talented were criminal undervalued until the last year runway hit. Barbie gets to flake them again here, bringing his deadpan, affable dim charm to the role of Colt Seavers, a hot-shot stunt double for Maverick movie star Tom Ryder. A later introduced Colt thought a long trekking shot through their latest movie set where he is supposed to perform a massive high fall off an elevator. We see our hero greet everyone the kind of whizzing throwaway charming of someone at the height of his game. Among these crew members is Jodie Marco, a beautiful camera assistant with a whom has been crying on a passion romance. The high fall goes. Member is a Jodie Moreno, a beautiful camera assistant with the whom he has crying on a passionate romance. Then the fall goes the horrible wrong. Claude Last image of Jodie is a blurry one of a stitcher as he taken away. By the time we record, we called with the court he working as an established value parking attendant, having abandoned both his lady love and his passion. Then he gets a call for a producer to come perform a stunt on the Sandy setup. Jodie features directing debut, a huge sci-fi fantasy starting Tom as a space cowboy in love with an alien. Since he's still crying a touch for Jodie, cold concept. Unfortunately, in turn on that, Jodie has not really forgiving him for ghosting her, and when she see that he inflated her set, she puts him throughout the winger as only a director can with a stunt double by having him repeatedly set on fire and capture, ghosting her, and when she sees the inflated heartbeat, he puts him through the winger as only a director can with a stunt double by having him repeatedly set on fire and capture again as well. The Fall Guy is now playing in theaters and will premiere on digital Tuesday, 21 May. This review is based on screening at the 2024 SXSW Film Festival, a love letter to those who die for a living, concealing headfirst the goofy romance in The Fall Guy. The film discards the bounty hunting premiere of its premium score material but returns protagonist Colt Survive, a stuntman whose supplies train comes in the handy when he gets wrapped in the solving a mysterious deposit being awkwardly stunned together at the time the fall guy has failure, and its Ozzy's star power is venting in someone regards. But for an action comedy that takes a tough in cheek to at the film industry, it's Chesma and premium of its primer scores material but retains protagonist Claude service. A stuntman who supplies train come in the handy when he gets robbed into the a stuntman who supplies training comes into handy into solving a mystery. Deposit being awkwardly stunned together at time the fall guy has flair and it shows star power. It's faking it some regards but for action comedy that takes a due in cheek look at the film industry. Its charm and the chemistry are just enough. Gosling has delivered hilarious performance before in The Nice Guys, The Biggest Shot, Crazy Stupid Love, and most certainly Barbie, but The Fall Guy might be his most accomplishing comedy work yet. His dry matter-of-fact voiceover introduced us to Claude Picture Perfect filing the camera operator Jody Moreno, which keep on the down low signs their co-worker and to his job, risking life and climb for obviously play by superstar Tom Ryder. But when an on-set accident effectively ends his career, Claude resorts into itself, loathing and cuts off all contact with the everyone in his life, included Jody. Ethan months later, he forced out of retirement of a rider protection when the Brush superpastor producing partner Gally convinced him to fly out to Sadness to work on the Jody director debut. However, this turns out to be a race by Waddingham's cunning grinning excuse because it turned out the writer has gone missing and Gally needs called help to track him down. A rabbit hole that gets much deeper and much more complicated to the point that the script even call out its own winding plot. Unsurprisingly, considering director David Leitch's experience breaking the fourth wall is Deadpool 2. This is a film Canley award of its a flaw. On a set writer even suggests movie solving Metal Storm third act issue through itself commercially with Jodie dismissed as an easy out, and while this does not quite solve the fall guy problem of occasions, convictions or loss of tension, it does help the audience take them a little less seriously. Colt and the Jodie awkward when you lead to the some tripping. Claude and Jodie awkward when you lead to the some trap roasting. Senior where the director biters over being advent. Translate as Torito recap of the dangerous stunt to put Claude through the winter. It would feel draw night mean if it were not so efficiently toward the art of Hollywood stunt and so financially presents with the extra is about alien and space. Affection toward the art of the Hollywood stunt and so freshly presents with the extra elaborate alien and the space cowboy gaps. Heavy dropping on the public confessions, Mion's occasional third act sequence assisted by Jang CGL, the stunt for the most part particle with a strong focus on technique and process. Before co-directing the first John Wick, Leitch was in called line of the work for survival years, so a genuine adoption for the card prever every scenes, while Leitch is arguable the less accomplished of the original John Wick 2. His colleague Chad helped the groundbreaking Wick sequel, while he made safer and arguable lesser work the Bull Train and the Feast and groundbreaking Wick sequel, while he made safer and arguably lesser work the Bull Train and Fast Furious presents Hobby and Saw. The action in The Fall Guy has a sense of fun and fluidity beating its premise. It does not conflict the stunt people standing in front of other actors, but it deepens our appreciation of the artifice. Given the dangers involved, it Russians Neston doll off stage. May them Pooh Gosling Dumble Login Holiday who also play called stunt assistant, checking on him before and after risky Valiner act performance are destroying 8.5 Conan role in an SUV. He standing in for an actor who playing a character who standing in for an actor The insider nature of the jokes and the setting is a joy for anyone who worked on a movie set. The Fall Guy also captured the romance and the sexual chemistry that often sizzle between below the line crew, but even folk who never been within 1,000 miles of Universal Studio ever will find much to delegate in, like all the movie quotes that make up the vocabulary of Colt inflectually Ethan's friend and the stunt superhero Dan. The biggest laugh, however, come down to Gosling impact, combinations of Daisy and the dominate charm. Thor left it did not go unsaid. Blanty's fancy state made for him to play off of. She hides a Janview expert pain behind the hard-headed exhibitor, albeit one that gives away to temptations and the despair to forgive. Together they. Yet the fall is rudely dropped when it's come. Construction scenes for Colt and Jodie capture their interpersonal dynamic. There are visual gaps impliedly, like a conversation about the use of split screen that plays out in split screen itself, and Leitch is adept the repelling on-set energy through bustling long takes, but when it's come to slowing down and capturing on conversation both dramatic and comedic, the editing is all over the place, distributing the rhymes of the reaction shots and the empathic delivery it's attractively work against Blunt and Gosling in certain scenes. Thankfully, Gosling also sleuthing sees the horrible at his absolutely funniest. His pitch perfect timing elevate even the towel having fruit and the maintains a valid physically in action comedy scenes. Whatever kicking ass in a dazzling drug fluid sequence recitement of Scott Pilgrim or gracefully part falling his way through a chase, maintaining a certain pace for all the guy. Any pertain pink partner reward would do well to consider him for the role of Inspector Claw. During a mountain-style air day in the office, I received an email from a name I did not recognize. The title read, "You are invited to an exclusive premiere of The Fall Guy." I skipped the body of the email where the words with Ryan Gosling and Brewing a Pulse one the stuck onto in bold, and I knew then an incredible date night was in store. How the message landed in my box remains a mystery for a number of reasons. I am certainly not an influencer, but if I am one thing, it is a lady with opens. Perhaps this might be the most honest review of The Fall Guy on the internet. Give it was not even a political decision to add me. It was purely accident, and by nature it was only right to certain a accidental review. To Newton law and balance and all that. In it's incredible that 2023, as Ryan Gosling here, the second award-winning actor, continued to stay in the spotlight with the high-grossing Barbie, and the movement continue into this year. With the Barbie respective awards, the same reaction can be applied to the Opportunity Family Blend, and it was incredible state movie to place the two-star from the most popular of movie 2023 as star cross lover in The Fall Guy. Deposit the trailer of explanations of the greatness. The Fall Guy is equal an action film as it is a romance. In fact, the film is instantly a love letter dedicated to Hollywood stunt double, a member of the cast and crew who roles in the incredible under-recognized Gosling play called Survive a Stuntman for Tomb Raiders, an ultra-famous movie star. On-set call it introduced to Jodie Morneau. Emily Blunt characters a camera woman turned first the director. The two have a toleration relationship, largely to Gosling character suffering deposit deposing after an energy led him out of work and puzzling a murder being framed in his name, but it deposit the chow. A thing elevated the cloud and Jodie chemistry is attend and continue the very energy that suddenly sweep anyone but you lack. The Fall Guy also features heavy hitters like Everything Everywhere All at the Once Stampen, who says Alma Millen, Ryder personal assistant Ted Lisa Hona, wedding play Gally Mayer, Jodie executive producer and Black Panther, Winston Duck takes on the deck taker, Claude best friend as fellow stunt corridor. It should be noted that while these roles did help drive the story, the most standout performance was from Gosling and Blunt, whose relationship was so endearing the viewer could not help but to cheap on. Why the film has all the cinematic of a classic action movie, bomb, death, drama, blood and speed. It is missing the very common over sexualizing scenes played by women characters, their no ability shower shot or 50-minute sex scenes that the mentally focus on the woman body only and does not add to the plot. Stuntman Colt Seavers. Ryan Gosling come out of the retirement when the star of a film directed by his ex-girlfriend Jodie Emily Blunt going missing. How do we live in a time where the Academy still has not recognized Hollywood stunt comedy with an Oscar category? When films such as John Wick Chapter 4 or Mad Max Fury Road have pushed the boundaries of stunt excellence, it seems mystery the thankful David Leitch Rockma action blockbuster The Fully Guy, based on the 1980s TV series starring Lee Majors, in an apparent reminder for its necessary inclusion, and it's make the case for having a lot of fun along the way. Leitch, a performed stunt performer, presents this as a movie lover dream. It follows in the same self-retentional footstep a bow finger-stopping thunders, and Babylon, a behind-the-scenes depiction of a Hollywood poking fun at itself, almost every scene coming brightly influenced with a tough, in-cheek meta in a joke about the filmmaking process, but you still feel a sense of the warm and effective in heavy frame. Each stunt sequence, be it a high-risk jump from a helicopter, an elevator fight scene in a neon light nightclub, or a pantomimic car chases across a beach, is a death-defying tribute to the man and the woman behind the craft. Ripping a page out of the Nice Guys playbook, it myself not plot features an in-coverage super in the Tomb Raider. A doggy producer is Gally Mayer, and a movie within a movie called Mathlum Thing Made Mix Meet the Cowboy Aliens. What follow is an action-packed rabbit hollow of climate events included elementary unicorns after a spike drink, and a weekday want the relationship reference to Nothing Hill included. The script will hardly win awards for originally, but even in moments where the lightweight plot seems stretched beyond the capture, there are more than enough jokes and needle. Lightweight plot seems stand beyond the capture. There are more than enough joke and needle drops to hold your internet. The real fun of the Fall Guy comes thanks to the dynamic pairing of the Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. Gosling, still riding high of his energy, has by no mastered the art of the playing the involved. Rushly every miss chases smile and weep. Smart comeback. Show chases why has at the top of this game. Blunt, now stranger to stunt work herself, equally delight with in a nice line in the deadpan delivery. Want to see her hilariously roasted Gosling, almost literally, as he is forced to repeat the same fireball stunt again and again. She got you covered. Leitch play to their stunt and the pair together. The duo some old-fashioned feel-gone romantic charm, in other words, a proper summer movie with some incredible stunt and Gosling and Blunt on top front. Inglorious entertainment comedy is a love letter to the using heroes of cinema. The Fall Guy review and Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt lead a movie-making lover dream. I love movie and I love making just as much as someone who spent nearly every waking hour marveling at the celebrating the craft making required to make a film. David Leitch's The Fall Guy is a dream come true. Yes, it's a COVID-pleasing romantic comedy thriller, but first and foremost, it won biggest heart or to the artist resemble for movie magic. Ryan Gosling lead as the Colt Seavers stuntman who dared to do consider of getting shot, blow up, stunts bleeding, VI elaborate car crashes and the sum. All of that nearly ends when Colt is the middle of a devastating accident. Time passes and Colt does not bounce back. He stays clear of all things Hollywood until receiving an unexpected call. Hill's ex Jodie Emily Blunt is making her first big budget studio movie, and it's odd risk of getting shot down. It's the stunt Tomb Raider, and even Taylor Johnson is the missing in an effort to get the film back on track. And hopefully with Jodie back in the process, Colt agreed to the track Tom down. Little dust to take is not mission that will damage to put his stunt person skill to use in the real work against an cinema score. in the real world against the criminals. The Fall Guy worked on every single level. When the trailer first dropped, internally I was overjoyed by the idea of getting a features film that focused on a filmmaking and stunt work. However, when the trailer ventured beyond a movie set, I feared that once the main mission got underway, it takes away from filmmaking and too close to a more traditional action movie narration. I could not have been more wrong about that. The Fall Guy frame stay rooted in set life, the making of Jodie movie, but whenever it movie out into the step of the sadness, every single once of action is delightfully theaters too cloud. On-set behavior, it results in a slow of the draw night hilarious action beats where it result in a slow of the draw right hilarious action. It result in a slay of the draw right hilarious action beats fair. But work on set down prove as effective against real criminals and the Fall Guy is an often hilarious romp of a movie, but it does not take the knowledge of stunt work lightly, not the work required of the department to make a movie. All of the action the Fall Guy is incredible, well shot, ensuring it matched the if not suspense. The stunt scenes were not seen in the any other Hollywood action movie, but these scenes were also more credible quality to them the most film. Many moments remind me of some live stunt show at the then spark in the best possible way. The physical feat required to pull something off its undeniable because it happened right before you says every one of the guy elite a similar feeling. Stunt show at them park is the best possible way. The physical feat required to pull something off its underable because it happening right before your eyes. Everyone's of Fall Guy elite a similar feeling. It's a highly enjoyable and worldwide, but one that never lets you forget that real human beings and one very good stunt dog did all of these for you, the audience. The Fall Guy is a masterful action movie with a great stunt. The concept remains fresh and the fun from start to finish country of its vitally charming lead, impeccable packing and uniquely dynamic action set pieces. Menu some notable digital background, the stunt, choreography, cinematography and the editing choice the all top of trailer. A true master of capturing action. The imagery is often thrown out, stunning the viewer eye is always exactly where it needs to be, and they also appear to word just how much to capture in camera in a slide shot. From there we get stable rod light a digit features a highly effective balance of cut with the purpose and the length shoots that which features a high effective balance of cuts with purpose and length shoots that strongly enhance the reality and the visual nature of all the set pieces. And then there Gosling who is utterly the pitch perfect as Collard service. This role was made for him. His charm is so that the roof as the absolutely nails the balance between sailing Colt as a highly trained stunt person but also one that, much to the viewer amusement, is realizing his own set tricking did not have the same effect of the set. The rock maximum chemistry with everyone in the ensemble. I can be a touch with the romantic compact of the romantic comedy's romantic thriller, but the connection between Gosling and the blunt characters in ununitable as always. Winston Duck posted maximum screen person playing Dan, a close friend of a Colt and the stunt corridor a Jodie film. One of Mario Fall Guy greatest delight is seeing Duke and the Gosling team up for a fight. Taylor Johnson and Hannah Waddingham also saw in their roles. Taylor Johnson is a great as an informative movie star with a massive ego and the Waddingham style with the show as the producer of Jodie film who will stop at the nothing to make thinking happen. I truly had a massive grin on my face from start to finish watching The Fall Guy. It is an extremely well-crafted action movie that absolutely buzzing with energy and charm for all 125 minutes of its running time, what making it an all-time it show how the function as one big, loving celebration of cinema. It always in a way of the fact that no single person can make a movie I am always in a way of the fact that no single person can make a movie. These productions demand hundreds, if not thousands of artists who are deeply passionate, master at their craft come together in order to bring someone vision to theaters and share it with the world. Every contribute is valuable and every continue is vital. We then access special impacts on the words. I am always in a way of the fact that no single person can make a movie. These production demand hundreds, if not thousands of artists who are deeply passionate, master at their craft, come together in order to bring someone vision to theaters and share it with the world. Every contribute is valuable and every contribute is vital. We then access special impacts on the wizard's responsibility for jaw-dropping stunt. The fall guy having highlight that in the front of an extremely entertained the ride. It's both a big screen delight, a movie making lover dream,